Hello everyone, my name is Megan and I'm one of the creators with Teachers Together English. I'm so excited to be here today to showcase the Teachers Together English curriculum. And I can see that people are starting to come on. I just checked and we're live on YouTube and Facebook, so we should be good. Today's webinar is mostly aimed at people who are brand new to the Teachers Together English curriculum. But if you've been using it for a while, feel free to add your questions to the chat and I'll be sure to answer them. If you are watching the replay, still add your questions to the chat or send us a message by email or on Facebook and we'll be happy to get back to you with your questions. If you are completely brand new to the curriculum, check out the link in the description below. You can get started for free and I'm going to be showing you around everything today. So as I said, my name is Megan and I've been teaching for more than 20 years. I've been teaching Chinese students online for about 8 years and I've got lots of experience in the public school classroom here in Canada. Teachers Together English was founded in 2021 by a group of teachers with the intention of creating high quality, interactive, structured lessons for any teacher to use with their students in their online classroom. At that time, more teachers were moving to teaching independently, and there really wasn't curriculum that teachers felt worked for them and really met their needs. And so a group of teachers came together and the curriculum was developed in a very collaborative way, which is something that's really unique with Teachers Together English. So the lessons that we have are created by teachers for teachers, and they provide you with a structured ESL curriculum that you can use sequentially with your students and ensure that you are covering all sorts of topics that are relevant to them to help them be successful English speakers. The curriculum has been created to align with the Canadian European framework of levels, or CEFR, and the Cambridge Young Learner exams. So if you have students that ultimately are going to be taking an exam, be it starters or movers or flyers, or maybe they're taking the KET or PET exams, then the Teachers Together English curriculum is an excellent choice for that. So I promised that today we would talk about how we save you hours of prep. And as an online teacher myself, I know that planning and preparing lessons outside of class takes lots of time. To develop one of the lessons in Teachers Together English takes a long time. And if I have to do that times 15 students for each of their lessons in the run of a week, that's a lot of unpaid time that I'm spending outside of class. And ultimately, I'm reducing what I'm being able to receive per lesson because I need to consider all of those planning hours. So with the Teachers Together English curriculum, we can help you with that. And I'm really excited to sort of dive in and show you the curriculum today and how the curriculum is laid out, answer all of your questions. So if you are not currently using the Teachers Together English curriculum, don't forget to check it out. Again, the link is in the description box for this video, and I will also throw it into the chat for you. So that is the link to our free tier membership, so you can get started for free and check that out. So without a whole lot of further ado, I want to jump over and begin to show you what I'm talking about. So let me just share my screen for everyone. And when you come to, I have to make that go live. Let's see. Show. Here we go. So when you go to teacherstogetherenglish.com, this is the screen that you'll see when you arrive. At the moment, I'm not logged in. You can see if you scroll down, there's some information about it. We've got some reviews from teachers who are using the curriculum. and some information about our premium membership. We're going to explore the platform itself and just give you a little bit of an orientation. I'm going to make it big, and I'll move myself around. There we go. So if we check out the menus, you'll see under our online lessons, you can have access to the free tier membership, to the premium subscription. We have a core curriculum, and we have a writing curriculum. So there are more than 600 lessons available for you to use in your classroom. We also provide some additional information. Our blog is a fantastic place to get tips and teaching tricks and all sorts of things, learn about the curriculum, but more importantly, learn about how to use those resources in your classroom and new teaching techniques to really make you a stronger teacher. And we try to release a couple of blog posts per week. You can also sign up on our website to receive free teaching updates and tips and tricks, and we will send you those right to your inbox so that you never miss an update on either the curriculum or our newest tips and tricks. So with that, I'm going to sign in. This Teachers Together English button in the top left-hand corner will always take you directly back to our home screen. So I'm going to sign in, and when you sign in to the Teachers Together English page, the very first thing you're going to see is you're going to see your dashboard. Your dashboard is going to show you all of the courses that you have access to, and you can click this little View My Course, All My Courses button to see them all. And it's also going to show you your membership. Within your dashboard, you can jump over to your courses. You have options to edit your account or see your order history. So that's a super useful place to be. But let's dive into sort of the heart of everything and what everyone's really excited to see. So you'll notice that our menu has changed a little bit once I signed in. So I still have access to that free tier. I also have a new course called Assessment Tools. I have access to the core curriculum, the writing curriculum, and the holiday lessons because I have a premium subscription. And if you are just a free tier member, you won't have access to all of these things, but you get access to about 40 different lessons and our assessment tools. So our assessment tools relaunched just a couple of weeks ago, and they really are awesome for helping you determine not only the SEFR level for your students, but also they help you determine what level you can place them in the curriculum. So if we just explore the free tier for the moment, you'll see you get access to sample lessons for beginner through advanced, downloadable resources, our general assessment tool and our writing assessment tool and our learning plan tool, and then exclusive teacher tips. So if we scroll through, you'll see here we've got the assessment tools, we've got lessons from level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we've got an example from the writing curriculum and a couple of seasonal lessons as well. One of the things that is helpful for you to understand about Teachers Together English is that we have 6 levels in our core curriculum. So our core curriculum has 6 levels. Each of those levels has 10 units, and each of those units has 10 lessons. So if we take a quick look at our assessment tools, and I did a video with the Independent Teacher Academy and Jillian a couple of weeks ago, and I'll link that in the comments so that you can find it. But the assessment tools are great. We have 2. So there's a general assessment and a writing assessment. When you open a lesson, you'll see that you've got the assessment, you've got learning plan tools where you can download a copy of that template and use it and modify it. And then you've got teacher tips to help you understand how to use the assessment with your students. And I'm just going to, because I did do a full video, I am just going to walk through this really quickly. Any of our lessons that are built in Genially, I need to move my head out of the way for everyone. You'll notice in the bottom corner that there is 3 dots. And if you click those 3 dots, you'll get the arrows, which allows you to make this full screen. So when you're teaching, it's much more interesting for the student to be able to see the whole thing and not all of the other stuff around, which is useful for you. You'll also notice that we have personalization options here on the screen. And so it is really important that you type in the name of your student and before you get started, because this name is used in certain places throughout the assessment. And if you don't type it in, it's going to say hello null, which is obviously not their name and not super welcoming for the student. So then we're going to click to get started. There's that same information again about our placement assessment, and then we get into that welcome screen. So this is a great screen to have up, to have ready when you start your lesson with your student. And as you'll see, it says, hello, Tina. Of course, that was the name that I typed in on the first screen. On this screen, you can use some or all of the warm-up questions, and you just click the little dots down at the bottom to have them appear. And then we can get right into the heart of the assessment. So this particular assessment tool is designed for pre-A1, A1, A2, and B1, and it automatically will track your score. So we start with questions like, what's the weather? When we choose the correct answer, it will add that to the points that it's automatically keeping track of for you. If you do a couple of questions in the pre-A1 and you're like, this is way too easy for my student, I want to jump ahead, that is not a problem. Just remember how many questions you did in pre-A1. If you even started it, you may have decided during the warm-up questions that, oh, the student's not pre-A1, I'm going to jump ahead anyway. And then there are instructions given on how many points to add to their final score. If I jump ahead to A1, using the tabs on the side of the assessment, you'll see we're getting a little bit more complicated with some grammar. All of our assessments have they assess reading comprehension, listening comprehension, some grammar, and they also have speaking questions. And this one, of course, is a grammar, but also a spelling with the ES on watches. And then, looking at comparisons. I'm just going to skim through a few of these because I don't want to get too much into this because we do have another video that walks you through all of this. But this is an example of the listening questions. And so you can click this big audio button. We'll be able to hear a video. And then the student is prompted to answer the question. So in this case, what is Emma's favorite subject, which happens to be English? You can check the student's score at any time by clicking on the check box. You can't see it because it's hidden by my powered by Wave video button. Let's see if I can move that elsewhere on us. No, I can't. So there is a button up in the top corner where you can view your results at any point in time. If I am just going to jump ahead just to another, this is a reading comprehension question. So a bit of a paragraph to read, and then there are 2 questions associated with this particular reading. And then this is our first speaking question. So with the speaking questions, you can rate the student's response as to satisfactory or needs improvement. And down in the bottom corner, there is a teacher tip with the expectation for the student's response. This is another one. Let's talk about school. How do you get to school? Again, listening for that student's response and then rating that and using your judgment as a teacher. So this is an example of how we assess the speaking skills. When you are completed, you can do that little check-in. At this point, they will have completed 24 questions if you've done all of them. If the students are getting 2 or more questions wrong, we encourage you at that point to stop the assessment and to jump to the results screen. This results screen allows you to place them. So you'll see the scores range from 0 to 50 on the assessment. We provide the corresponding Teachers Together English level and the SEFR level and the Cambridge exam goals. So this is something that's super useful if you have a new student or if you have a student that you're moving from another curriculum over to this curriculum. Again, down in the corner, I can go to those three little dots and I can exit full screen, which allows me to come back here to the actual main window. You'll notice that we also have a writing assessment. The writing assessment is a little bit different, and if you are teaching writing classes, it is a fantastic thing to use at the beginning. The writing assessment also includes a correlation, some information about the SEFR levels, and we have also provided the writing assessment rubric, which is downloadable from the learning plan tools. So at the completion of the assessment, there is a rubric that you can use to score the students' writing pieces. Again, with this one, you're still going to personalize it. There is a warm-up, and then the tabs on the side jump between the three writing tasks. So there are three writing tasks that get progressively more difficult. Depending on the level of your student, you may opt not to use the all of the writing tasks and go from there. But as part of sort of in leading up to those writing tasks, this is leading up to the first one, there are some knowledge type questions. And again, we've provided some teacher tips. So in this case, if they're struggling, you can provide an example. And so we've got some brainstorming, parts of speech, nouns, verbs, and then we are asking the student to identify adjectives for the nouns they identified. And then there is a question around proper nouns, and then you get into the first writing topic. So again, before you move on to the second one, there are some questions and then a writing task, and then the same thing with the third one. These are all available for you, whether you have the free trial, which gives you lifetime access to our assessment tools and a selection of lessons, or whether you are a premium subscriber and accessing all of our resources. So let's explore the core curriculum a bit. The core curriculum has at its basis 6 levels. We also have added as a bonus for our premium members some additional level 0 activities. These level 0 lessons are really designed to provide some additional practice. And so if we jump into level 1, for instance, in our core curriculum, you'll notice from when we looked at the assessment, this level 1 is going to be a pre-A1 level. You'll see there are the 10 units down the side. So we're talking about things like feelings, size, colors, fruits, vegetables, meal times, family, gardening, things in the home, those types of things. So we're going to just jump right into unit 6, so about halfway through level 1. And I'm going to just open up our aunt and uncle lesson. When you get in here, and this will be sort of common for a lot of our lessons, you'll see that we have options. So with this lesson, we have our new interactive version. Initially, all of our lessons were built with Google Slides, and over the last probably 4 or 5 months, we've been adding interactive versions to many of our units. And so the interactive version is just slightly more interactive than the Google Slides. If you are using a co-browser like you might see in FunClass or in Koala Go, then you will want to use the interactive version because the students will be able to click on the screen. If you are using a software such as Tennyson Meetings or Zoom or whatever to teach your lessons that does not have that co-browser, then you will want to, you can choose either, whichever one you like. In some cases, the interactive versions are a little bit more updated. We've probably added in some additional listening activities and things like that. So you may opt to use the interactive version. You would just be clicking, and then the student can use their annotation tools. In addition, you'll notice that we have downloadable resources and or games. So in this case, there is a workbook for this level, which you can share with the parents at the beginning of the unit. And there's also a spelling game for numbers from 1 to 10. And if you're teaching students in China, which my students are all from China, but I recognize people are teaching from students from all over the world with our curriculum, then they do actually in that kindergarten grade 1 have like tests on how to spell the numbers and how to spell the colors. And so we actually have some games that you can use to extend and or to support you in teaching those types of things. Again, at the bottom, we can expand this so that we can see the full screen. And up in the top right-hand corner, there is a pen so that I can draw on my screen as well. And the nice thing about the Genially pen, if you have it on, is that when you change screens, it's no longer on there and you don't have to erase it like you do in Zoom. So I'm going to, again, type in the student's name and information. This is, and then we get the welcome screen. Hello, Emma, and hello, teacher. And then this is why a co-browser can be helpful in that these are all draggable. So how are you today? I am mad. Oh, why are you mad? I think you should be happy. So you can work with those. If you're using a co-browser, the student can drag and drop those into the box. And then we have a warm-up song. So these are great to get the energy up. And you'll notice at this point we have some options down the side so that you can jump around in the lesson really easily. So this one is part of our family unit. So in this case, I would grab my pen up in the corner and I would say, who is this? And then if the student knows the answer, great. If they don't, you can click on the card and flip it over. Mom, this is my mom. And all of these cards, with the exception of me down here, are clickable. If you have the ability to sort of move your people around, then we could actually move the student over that black head. And then who is this? This is my mom. So that is super cool. We get into how many people are in the family. We flip through. In this particular lesson, they're learning aunt and uncle. And again, you get presented with this lovely interaction again. However, at this point, you're going to want to use your pen and you can maybe choose the aunt because that's what they've been working with. They've learned cousin in a previous lesson, so you can circle the ones you want, and it's just a fun way for the student to learn those words. And this one has a sentence with he is my uncle, and then again that same thing pops up so that you can choose and play and practice. There's a little story in this. This is my family, and there are 4 people in my family. And then there is a word of the day song. There is music to accompany that. So if you don't know the tune of bingo, you can sing it. You can play the audio, and you don't have to sing it. The sight word in this, in one of the sight words in this unit is actually he. And so you can see here we're again reinforcing that and circling he. And we have a bit of a conversation to work through. This is one of our last letter units. So this one actually has Y, and it also has X, Y, Z, there's U, V. So this type of stuff is all in here. So this is like listening one, you're listening and then choosing the letter sound that you hear. And again, there's our Z or Z, depending on where you live. And circling small letters. And then this is a fun just drag and drop one. So again, if you're using a co-browser, super easy. You can drag these over. Otherwise, the student can just draw lines on their screen and drag them to the appropriate boxes. Then we have our numbers section. So in this case, they're counting backwards. You'll notice there is this spelling task where the words, you can drag and put the letters in order. And again, some more focus on spelling, in this case 7, and then matching, again, drawing that line. This one is one where you can actually click. So I'm looking for, I'm going to read this word. So decode and then choose the correct word and just click the button at the bottom. And I get a nice check mark. So that is an example of a level 1 lesson. It does end with a goodbye song. The goodbye songs are recycled through the unit, so you will find that the students learn them and will sing along. In addition, this lesson has our built-in feedback. So when I typed in my name and information at the beginning, it's added my information here. I can click on the stars, and then I can simply type my comments in the box, and then I can just screenshot this and send this to the parent after the lesson. You'll notice also it automatically puts the date on here, and that date will automatically update for you. And then we do have just a drawing board, and we also have a tic-tac-toe game. So you can tic-tac-toe. Maybe I want to be with the pig, so you can drag and drop the circles and the X's to play tic-tac-toe. And in this case, I would use this to review either the vocabulary words or the sounds that these words start with. So all of these pictures are pictures that they've encountered up until now in the lessons, and they should be familiar with. So from there, that's level 1. So I'm going to sort of take you to the opposite end of the curriculum and show you level 6. And I'll show you some things in the middle as well, but we're going to just jump. So we're going to go from one end to the other end. And in level 6, we've got things like life skills, healthy living, music and dance, extreme natural events, amazing inventions, inside my body, parties, celebrations, work. So these lessons are much more difficult and challenging, and certainly are suitable for your upper intermediate B2s. This particular unit is about inventions. It's one of my favorite units because I think that they're super interesting to talk about, and they sometimes students don't think about, oh, like this was invented like a really long time ago, or telephones don't actually look like they originally looked like, and now we have cell phones. So you know, I grew up with a phone that was attached to my wall that was corded, and and it was a rotary dial phone. Well, students, if they saw that, they wouldn't even know how to use it. And so this is sort of a fun unit to teach. And so if we jump in and explore our taking flight lesson. So lesson 2, again, you see the learning objectives. This particular one has not yet been converted, so there is a Google Slides option, and then there are resources. And the resources for this include a vocabulary and grammar sheet. And in this case, we've also identified an extension activity, which you can use. In our upper level units, so about mid-level 3 up through level 6, lesson 5 and lesson 10 always have writing homework. Lesson 1 through 4 and 7 through 9 are going to be vocabulary, reading comprehension type activities, and they have been designed to be consistent with the types of activities that students will see and encounter on their exams. So if we just do a quick flip through this, you'll see it does have a listening activity. In this case, it is in the form of a video, and it's about the Wright brothers, the first successful airplane. And then they're asked to identify an interesting fact. We get into some vocabulary words. You'll notice that the level of the language here is much more challenging, and students are asked to make sentences with their new vocabulary words, to use their vocabulary words to fill in the blanks in the paragraph, and the answers do appear if you click. Then there is a conversation. So real life conversation role plays are really important. I mentioned it for the Genially. I haven't mentioned it for the Google Slides. If you click the 3 dots down here at the bottom of your Google Slides, you do have the option to enter full screen. One of the things that I use all the time in my Google Slides is I actually turn on my pen. And then it's like, oh, no, and then I can underline with the on the slide. And similar to Genially, when I change screens, I don't have those lines on there. I don't have to do any erasing. So it's super convenient that way to just underline words that students might be struggling to pronounce, or things that you want to go back to and ask about, that sort of thing. You have the option to change some colors. So if you're someone who doesn't like red, you can use green, or if the red isn't working on the background, whatever, that sort of thing. And there is an eraser. So if you've got stuff all over your screen, you can just erase it. Those tools are only available to the teacher unless you are using a co-browser. The other thing that's here is a laser pointer. Don't tend to use that very often. And there is also speaker notes. So sometimes if there's a screen that you're really unsure of that doesn't seem to make any sense, just open the speaker notes and there'll usually be some teaching tips there. So as I flip through, you can see we've got a conversation, and then we have a nonfiction text. And the nonfiction text has some true or false questions afterwards. And then it also has some oral, which the answers are actually hidden under the white cards. This particular unit focuses on facts and opinions. So again, emphasizing the difference between facts and opinions and explaining why that's important. And then there are some facts and opinions from the article, which your student is then challenged to identify, is this a fact or is this opinion? And this makes for some really interesting conversations often. And you can, if you're using your Google slide pen, you can simply just circle. And that is not a fact, obviously. That one is an opinion. And then prefixes un and dis, and putting together some words, and then sentences. So this is an example of our upper level lessons. You can see big difference between level 6 and level 1. So in the middle of that, we have obviously 4 other levels in our core curriculum. And I'm just going to open them. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I'm going to give you a bit of a glimpse into some of the other levels and some of the activities that you might see. So in level 2, let's jump into level 4, unit 4. So this one is about food. A lot of our units, we've also started to add these unit overviews. So this unit overview, if you click on it, is a downloadable PDF, and you can share this at the beginning of the unit with your parent or with your student, and you will see it provides the vocabulary, the sight words, and any phonics information. So super useful information just to give them a preview of what they're going to see. If we jump into the grains lesson, this particular lesson, and this unit does get into these and those, you'll notice that this particular unit has the interactive version. It has a Google Slides version. It also has a lesson preview, so you can actually copy this link and share it with your student. And then it's got downloadable resources. It's got the unit overview, which I pointed out earlier. It's got flashcards. It's got a downloadable book and a vocabulary worksheet. So there's lots of things and tools that you can use to really reduce the time that you spend prepping, so you have more time for teaching. And so as we just sort of flip through this, again, it does have the personalization. And so I would encourage you to do that. These are only in our interactive lessons. They're not in the other lessons. There is a brand new song. Actually, it was just released this week on our YouTube channel. So all of our custom music that we've created for the curriculum is now available on our YouTube channel. You'll notice in some of our lessons that we don't have custom music, and in some that we do. So this is something that we are working through and adding custom songs that are really, really tailored to the units themselves. This is where that name comes into place. So you'll notice that I've got, it's filled in the blanks. It's got Bob and it's got Teacher Meg. So it's filled those in. This one, we're getting into weather as well as how are they feeling. And so with the weather, they can drag. With the how are you, they can circle. We'll get into some vocabulary. In this particular unit, this lesson was about grains. So vocabulary obviously related to that. This is just a guessing game. You see these often in our level 1 through 3 units. And so, what are these? And a matching activity. Again, you can draw with your pen. Some questions with some answers. And then a word of the day song, again, with music to support you. When you continue through, you'll see these and those. And then we use that actually in this conversation. So what are these? And you can see that we've got fruit circled. If you and then what are those? And those are the bananas. This one reviews some of the sounds as well, but they're all food-based words. So it's a great way to introduce some additional words, and then really focuses on those beginning sounds and what sound they hear. Again, real world conversations, and then repeating that with pictures. There is some focus on counting, but much bigger numbers, of course, than you saw before. There is a tic-tac-toe game as well at the end for fun, and a goodbye song. So, and this one does have that same feedback as well. You'll notice I already typed this in so it remembers me, but I will just do that. And so you will be able to select your stars and go from there. If you select your stars, you can choose 4 or 5 or 3 or 2 or whatever you feel like. And you can screenshot that for the student. Again, there is a drawing board. We typically include a drawing board on all of our lessons, and we try and provide that just in case you want to jump there for any reason. I am going to show you under the 3 dots, there is also a tool which allows you to sort of preview the lesson really quickly and jump to a slide. So if you wanted to, you were doing the conversation question and you wanted to jump back, you could say, oh, okay. And instead of just clicking through, you can actually use that slide sorter. So that 3 slides. Some people like to be able to do that. So that is an example from our level 2. If you are using our lessons and at any point in time you come across something that you're like, oh, that's a mistake, or I think this should be added, or you have suggestions or feedback, by all means reach out. We're super, super quick to respond to feedback. You can send us an email at hello@teacherstogetherenglish.com, or you can send us a message on Facebook. So in here, this is our level 3 lessons. And if we look sort of at Unit 8, again, jumping forward, again, there is the downloadable unit overview. This one does have the interactive, the Google Slides, and the resources. And if we look, I'm not going to necessarily flip through all of this, but you will see we've got all sorts of vocabulary. This one has some interactive questions, which are great. And so a farm with many chickens that are raised for eggs or meat is a poultry farm, which is one of their vocabulary. And when they click, they get the reward, which is nice. Again, works really well either with a co-browser or without. Students can circle the answer and you can select the correct one. Animals on a farm are called livestock. And then we have that conversation, free talk. There is a hint that you can pull out in case they don't remember the types of farms. There is a story in here. This particular story is one of my favorites because my grandfather was a dairy farmer. And in some cases, we've got some unfamiliar words that are identified as well. And this one actually has a definition for udder. As we flip through that, there are some questions about the story. There is some multiplication practice. And then there is this really cool spin the wheel. So I just click the big blue button and away it goes. And so this is a great phonics practice. So this word would be wonky. And if I click it again, I will get a different word. Donkey. So great way to sort of practice that O and K. This also has some fillable drop-down questions. So there is a milking machine. There are chickens and geese. There are many broiler chickens raised for meat. So again, if you get them all correct, you get the trophy to appear. If you don't, you just change the one that's incorrect and you still get your trophy. So that is an example sort of as we're moving up through the levels. And there are lots and lots of really excellent topics. Some of my favorite topics are actually in level 4. There is a unit on wonders of the world, which is super interesting and students really enjoy. There is a unit on air travel, which has sort of graphic novel type images and sort of working at the beginning of the unit through to the end and traveling. I like the visit to the doctor unit. So there's some units that are really fun topics to get into and really practical real world things that they need. Do want to take this opportunity to show everyone our writing curriculum. So if you're still with us, you can jump in and you can see an example of all of our lessons with our free trial. And the link is in the description below. If you want to become a premium subscriber and you haven't done that yet, visit teacherstogetherenglish.com and click on that big Go Premium button. Our premium subscription is $12.99 per month currently, and you also have the option, if maybe you only need one level, you have the option with our core curriculum to subscribe to just level 1 or just level 2, and that's less than $5 a month. So you can get 100 lessons, all of your materials for less than $5 a month, and then as you build up your business and need more, you can advance that. So these writing courses, there is actually a live from a couple of weeks ago on our writing curriculum, which is brand new. So currently our first unit is available, which is simple sentences, designed really for our pre-A1 into A1 sort of writing. It works well for sort of level 1, unit 6 and up. You'll notice if you look at the topics, these are topics that align with the topics that we've already seen in level 1 and level 2. These lessons are all, let's go to the party one. These lessons are all aligned with the topics that we have. So you can teach it as a standalone writing curriculum, or you can teach it, one lesson at a time as you finish up a unit with the students. The only lessons within this that I would encourage you to sort of do in order are the first 3, because we're going to get into sentences and punctuation and capital letters. And so those obviously are fundamental skills that you'll need the students to have. So again, you see this personalization, and so you'll fill that in before you get started. We get that welcome, and then we have a warm-up song. This is, again, one of our custom songs that we've made. It's about time to party, so it's about parties. It's fun. I'll play a few seconds of it, but all of these are available on our YouTube channel. One of the things that I always like to tell people about YouTube videos that some people aren't familiar with is you can always click on the settings. So if you find it's a little bit fast for your student, just click on the settings and go to custom and just take it down to 0.75, for instance. So it really does depend on your students. It is important for students to hear that natural language, because obviously when they speak, we want them speaking in, sort of that regular speed, not really slow speed. But it is a nice little trick. And if we continue, you'll notice it's a lot slower. All right. So all of our writing lessons start with some brainstorming. The nice thing about this is it gives an opportunity for students to see some of those correct spellings of words. You can encourage them to write them down in their vocabulary journal, so that when they get to the free writing task where they're writing independently, they aren't saying, teacher, 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 how do I spell this? And obviously we want to encourage them to sound them out, but if they have a bit of a vocabulary journal to work with, that's great too. And then this particular one is focused on capital letters again. They've already been introduced to capital letters, but in this one, they are really focused on places and months and days. And so in this case, we're looking to fix the mistakes. So Shanghai Tower, Ring Road, and Shanghai. So, we want to have them identify those and identify the words that need capital letters. Similar, choosing the correct sentence. And again, choosing the correct sentence. Then we're getting into what time is it. So this is the opportunity to talk about how we write times. And of course, in this case, we have actually 2 correct answers. So you can talk about that as well. And then I think I clicked the button. And then we're looking at invitations. So here's a sample invitation. What will they do at the party? When is the party? Where is it? Challenging them to find the capital letters. All of these things are great. And then you can drag and make your own invitation with the students. So this is a guided writing task. And then again, another guided writing task. Students can brainstorm the ideas. You can type them on the screen. And then students have an independent writing task. You'll notice for our independent writing task, we've given some questions to help you, to help guide the students. There's also some nice reminder, our big letters screen is back, so if they're struggling with that, or we also have our tips on how to write a sentence if they're struggling with that. And then this particular one has Capital Quest. It's a game. So essentially, we've got some bodies here. These do work well in small group or one-on-one lessons. And so we've got some bodies here. Pick your player. I'm going to roll the dice. Oh, it's a 1. I didn't do very well. I'm going to choose my Capital Quest. And where do the capital letters go? So if the student identifies that correctly, great. And then you simply take that card and drag it and put it here with the used cards. We'll play games at the party, so you can see these are all similar. Okay, so you can move them. When the student gets it right down here at the bottom, we can go with confetti and some sound effects, so that's lots of fun as well. And you can shake your dice, and the other student can go and they get a card. So that is our Let's Play section. All of our lessons in our writing curriculum do have games and activities and are designed to be super engaging. So that is the Teachers Together English curriculum. Premium subscribers do have access also to a complete collection of holiday lessons as well as those pre-level 1, sort of those level 0 activities and lessons. And you'll see, for instance, this is November and there's 4 lessons. If I look at December, we just had Christmas here not that long ago. There's lots of different lessons available. And so we have lessons for most of the major holidays. We're continuously adding, improving, making the curriculum better. So if you have any questions and you haven't asked them, please add them to the chat. If you have questions and you're watching the replay, again, you can add them to the chat and I will answer them, or you can reach out to us on email or on Facebook and we will respond to your messages quickly. So that provides you with an overview of Teachers Together English. If you haven't checked it out, don't forget to, you can click on the link for Teachers Together English, which is shown in the chat. And I've just put it on the screen for you as well. And you can sign up for the free trial or for a premium membership. And I hope to see you all in our Facebook community as well. So join us at Teachers Together English ESL Curriculum on Facebook, and we can chat and answer all sorts of questions and come up with creative solutions together. Thank you, everyone, for joining, and have a fantastic day. I hope to see you all in our Facebook community. And if you have ideas for future lives, or if there's things that you want to know more about, by all means, send us a note or drop it in the chat, and we'll get back to you. Thank you.